Taiwan.
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 Taiwan. Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. My name is Alan. This is my life in Taiwan. However the name of this beautiful country is pronounced, its name often pops up in many different country comparison studies carried out by companies all over the world. And I have been known to feature some of these studies in videos in the past. So when thinking of video ideas recently, I was looking for some new studies to feature, and it appears that there are dozens and dozens of ways to rank countries against each other, and also many different methods of measuring each category, which often leads to opposing results depending on the study, or more importantly the company carrying out the study and their reasons for doing so. Therefore, instead of featuring one of these studies today, I thought I'd look at a few different categories and see what studies I can analyze, and most importantly see where they rank Taiwan amongst our Asian neighbors and other countries around the world. So the first topic is one that everybody loves to talk about, and that's money. How does Taiwan's wealth compare on the world stage? And there are so many different ways of judging this. If we just look at GDP per capita, then Taiwan's $29,000 a year ranks at 35th in the world, behind Cyprus and ahead of Slovenia, according to the Visual Capitalist study. But when we look at data from the World Bank, Taiwan is completely omitted from the list, but would fit in around 40th place according to their stats. But as I said, that's just GDP per capita. When we look at personal wealth of the individual population, Taiwan ranks as the 18th richest country in the world, with a median personal wealth of $93,000 according to the Global Wealth Data Book. But if we make a simple Google search, how rich is Taiwan, the first two results come from Taiwan news websites, which both contradict each other anyway. One claiming we are 4th based on net financial assets, and the other placing us 17th based on the GDP per capita I mentioned earlier. From these several reports alone, we can start to see how important it is to always read beyond the headline and put each of these stories into context. But I think it's fair to summarize it as Taiwan is pretty rich, but certainly not the richest country in the world. Before we get to the next point, I want to ask if you are still enjoying this video and haven't subscribed, then why not? Subscriptions really help the channel and they are free. So help me out, click subscribe, and while you're clicking away down there, give the video a thumbs up, as it will tell YouTube you like it and they will share it with more people. It costs you nothing and would really make me very, very happy. Talking of which, let's look at happiness. And this one was much easier to research because, as far as I can see, there's only one report that compares the happiness of countries against each other, and that's the World Happiness Report, which infuriatingly lists us as Taiwan province of China in 19th place, and interestingly, one place behind my country of the UK and one place ahead of France. And this report actually saw Taiwan increase 5 places from 24th place the previous year. Now, studies like this are obviously trying to quantify a very qualitative characteristic, so who knows how they can say Taiwan is one place less happy than the UK, but I think whatever they are measuring is useful for measuring a country's happiness against itself year on year. And I would tend to agree that on this occasion Taiwan has gotten a little bit happier compared to other countries over the past year or two, when we consider what other countries have been through with COVID that we have managed to avoid here in Taiwan. Another very popular topic on the internet and YouTube regarding Taiwan is the level of Taiwan's safety, and I have had a very popular video where I talk about Taiwan safety in the past, and the main study often quoted by newspapers and online media comes from an online database site known as Numbeo. They gather their data according to crime statistics, and they rank Taiwan in 2nd place with a crime rating of just 15.46, behind Qatar in 1st place with a crime rating of only 12.13. But there is another study that I found from insurance company William Russell that ranks Taiwan as only 11th safest country in the world for expats. And then, even more contradictory to the Numbeo study, I also managed to find this study on the Global Peace Index, which gives Taiwan a safety ranking of only 61st out of 163 countries in the study, ranking us directly between Vietnam and Zambia. And when we take a look at the criteria considered by this study, you can see they give more emphasis on militarization and weapons expenditure, where Taiwan doesn't score so well. as it also doesn't score so well when measuring neighboring country relations, which we all know is probably the biggest factor in Taiwan affecting the safety of all the citizens and residents that choose to live here. So maybe Taiwan isn't as safe as some studies would have you believe. The penultimate topic I want to cover in this video is the health of people in Taiwan and how the national health insurance system compares to other countries around the world. And a simple Google search of this question throws up the first result, which comes from CEO World Magazine's Healthcare Index that ranks Taiwan as second in the world behind South Korea and ahead of third place Denmark. Now again, this is only one study, but it does seem to be quite comprehensive and compares such criteria as the cost, the availability of medicine, the number and level of healthcare professionals, amongst other criteria. And although Taiwan does rank second overall, there were some criteria such as the government readiness where we scored much lower than our overall second place. Interestingly, the WHO World Health Organization's report has a completely different top 10 list when ranking the world's healthcare systems, and very unsurprisingly, Taiwan doesn't appear on the WHO list. So for the final comparison, I wanted to take a look at how Taiwan's education system compares to those around the world, and this one was much harder to analyze. Elementary school, high school, universities are all measured differently, and some studies take extracurricular activities more seriously than others. But one study conducted by the Economist Intelligence Unit assesses the readiness of global education institutions to equip youths with the skills required for the future, and this study ranked Taiwan at 17th out of 50 countries taking part, and focused on evaluating students aged 15 to 24 with their ability to socialize with people, deal with problems, critical thinking, and the ability to adjust to an era of automation. A rather wide criteria, and education is definitely somewhere where I think Taiwan can improve. The education system of Taiwan is often criticized for being overly focused on cramming and memory tests rather than social intelligence and problem solving. Another interesting fact I came across was regarding NTU, Taiwan's #1 university, which ranked at only number 192 on the global scale. Not very impressive, but also much higher than the university where I studied, so who am I to judge? But anyway, that's all I have for you today. I'm really happy to share this kind of information with you guys, to pull different things around from the internet into one small compact video. And just to remind you, when reading these studies, always take a look at who wrote it, which newspaper it comes from, and what kind of information they're wanting to share. Do they have an agenda with sharing this information? I've definitely been a victim of falling into that trap before, so I'm trying to be a little bit more balanced on the channel in future. As I said, that's it. Time to say goodbye. Thanks for watching. As for now and as always, I'll see you next time in My Life in Taiwan. Peace. Bye bye.